What's up, nail geeks, and welcome to part 2 of my Temu review. If you missed out on the first episode, I did mention that Temu reached out to me and wanted me to do a review on their beauty products, their nail products, and some random stuff. So in this video, we're gonna do a little bit of nail stuff. I got some more hardcore stuff for nail stuff, and we'll see that in a minute. I got a ton of beauty stuff. They wanted me to look over their glosses and makeup stuff and all of that. Yeah, I have some more random stuff that I will show you guys at the end. So we're gonna keep this short and sweet. There's a ton, and I'm gonna go over it real quick. I will link in the description box the first video if you missed that. Just a quick note from our sponsor: if you sign up with my link and also with my code, you can get up to $100 in coupons from the site, and they have all kinds of stuff for pretty damn cheap. So without further ado, let's get started into the review. So to start off with, we are going to go over my favorite thing in this huge Temu order that I got to do for this little mini series. This is the nail dust collector. It's got a standard plug to it, a little on-off switch, and that filter that you can remove and kind of bang it out to get any of your dust that you collected in there. And I need to remove my nails on pretty much all my fingers. I needed to do a fill on my non-dominant hand and remove from my dominant hand. I always wear a mask whenever I'm doing this, and I'm using my e-file. In a moment here, I'm going to be quiet for a second. That way you guys can hear how loud or not loud, depending on your expectations, that this is. So if sound is a huge factor to you, I feel like a dust collector is just going to be noisy regardless, because it is a big fan that's sucking up your dust. These are the nails that I wore for PBE, so this was recorded about a month ago. They're wonderful, and when I say I love glitter, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is beautiful, and I'm so sad that I had to remove it, but it is what it is though. So for the sake of this is not a review for my Dremel, I'm gonna quickly go through this. I busted out my ceramic bit, that way I can really get in there and get all that little fine etching of the many layers of glitter that I had. And I'm also, of course, using the Dremel cleaner that I reviewed for the part 1. So far, I'm really liking it. It's worked very well to get really big bits off of my bits. So here it is all finished up, and you can see how much chunky nastiness is in there. I really liked it. 10 out of 10. This is wonderful. I think this one was about $25 on the site. In my opinion, that's much more affordable than some of the other nail dust collectors that I've seen. I've seen them go all the way up to $200. So this is great, and I think it works wonderfully. It's not super wide, but my nail desk is incredibly small. So real estate on this area is definitely in high value here. And I'm just using my little, this is my very bougie trash can here. And I know you can't really see it in the video a whole lot, but please note there was a ton of stuff that I dusted out of the filter. And next we've got this 4-tier nail polish holder. It comes just like this. It's acrylic. One of the rows, I guess you would say, did have a little bit of a split in it. This is pretty fragile, so you don't want to put it in a place where it's going to get banged up a whole lot. Building it together didn't take very long. It took me about 10 minutes. And to give you an idea of how much it holds, here is some of my upcoming goodies that I'm working on. Now, next for nail stuff, I got those really cool neon pigments that I've seen a ton of. I feel like I just keep diving into products that are going to work really well with gel, and that makes me so sad because I am allergic. So that's a bummer right there, but I wanted to see if it would work on top of just a regular old clear top coat that I left a little bit tacky. I think it dried down a little too quickly, and it just kind of slid over it, so I didn't get the greatest results with it. That's okay, because I think in the future I might go back with this and kind of mess around with the burnishing top coat, or maybe even do some type of mixing, and it might even work with frankening too. I'm not sure. The powders themselves are incredibly vibrant though, so I can see that there might be some other uses I can probably try to work out with them. And in the part 1, I promised some nail foil stuff. This is one of the little mini sets that I got. I did remember to order the nail glue with it, and I think it is flat out glue. That's what it looks like, at least the one that I got. It applies like Elmer's glue onto the nail. I let it dry down and it's very, very sticky. Now I'm going to warn you, this next little segment here, watching me figure this out, I just want to point out, I didn't watch any tutorials. It's been a while since I've seen anyone do nail foils. In fact, the last person I saw do it was a hot minute ago, was Long Hair Pretty Nails, and she made it look so effortless. I mean, but she's hella talented though, so I should have known better. But anyways, I hadn't refreshed myself, and this first impression was, I laughed, okay? I got a good laugh whenever I pulled that up. And then I tried again. So this time I'm not doing it over a base. I'm trying it on just straight on top of my nail. And yeah, it was definitely hot mess express here. So I messed with it and I tried to figure out what was going to work. And finally, what worked was, oh, dummy, you need to flip the foil over. So if you try this, don't be like me. The foil goes proper side up. And you see I got some really cool results. So this is something I 100% will be revisiting in the future in my videos. But for right now, this is my first impression and I'm really digging it. And next we've got this cute little pen organizer. I thought it'd be good for my nail brushes, but it's pretty shallow for makeup brushes and things like that. I found that this was perfect for pens and Sharpies. And next is this really interesting dispenser thing. So it comes with these little pads in it. I like that it's very chic. It's like acrylic feeling. So this is probably similar to the nail polish organizer. It could probably break if you dropped it. Not quite like glass, but you get my drift. This is really interesting in that the pads themselves are really dehydrated. I use them here in a second to clean off the oil and alcohol, and you can see that it kind of puffed back up, almost like a sponge, like a really thin sponge. So I think this would be really cool for like really tough glitters and stuff if you wanted to use it like that. Just a really interesting material. This is a makeup brush holder. It's really so simple. I can understand why it was so cheap. It's embarrassing how long it took me to figure out how to put it together because the openings for those little pegs were opposite on either side, but whatever. So speaking of makeup brushes, I did order some so that you guys can see how it fits in here. These are definitely what you pay for. If you have ever used any real hair type of makeup brushes, legit nice ones, this is definitely not going to be up your alley. It's not for me. My makeup brushes, I like real hair of some type. So you can definitely feel that these are synthetic fibers, but overall the makeup brush holder was really cool. And then here we've got these interesting, I know we're going to get more and more random, I promise. These are metallic glitter markers. I just feel like anybody who's a millennial or, you know, if you were able to appreciate Lisa Frank back in the day, you're a sucker for jelly pens and things like this, like me. So I ordered these and I thought, what the hell, why not? This would make good content too. And yeah, they're pretty cool. It's kind of like a Sharpie with like super shiny silver reflective stuff in it. So that was really fun. And I also ordered a ton of makeup sponges. Now I use these to apply my foundation and my concealer on my face. These are quite large. They are very dense though, a lot more dense than what I'm used to using. So I like to wet my sponge when I'm using makeup sponges or makeup eggs, whatever you want to call it. And I thought these didn't soak up as much product as what I'm used to. So if you prefer sponges that don't soak up as much, even when they're wet, these might be for you. Overall, these were not my favorite. I personally like the more porous ones that I get from Ulta. And then here we have something really cool. I like to blend the hell out of my eyeshadow. So these, I've seen them on like YouTubers and stuff like that do like really like professional makeup. And I thought these are really cool. And in person, they're cool too. They definitely have this gauzy like material to them. So now we're going to get into the actual makeup part. There's hit or miss quite a bit in this section of the video, but I think it's good content. So if you're curious, just keep on trucking. So this is a eyeshadow duo. It said that you use this little brush and it's like quote unquote all you need for your eyelids. The brush is tiny and I don't have the smallest real estate for my eyelids, so this is definitely not going to work for me. And I didn't care for how sheer the eyeshadow is. I like dramatic makeup, obviously. Now here I ordered 4 different types of eyeshadow sticks. So these two right here are really shimmery, and then the next two are quote unquote holographic. We'll get to more of that in a second. The holographic ones have a clickable refill style to them. You don't have to sharpen them. And then going in with the first one, this is a white, really frosty, very reminiscent of late 90s, early 2000s makeup. And this one is a bronzy sort of shimmer, which is what I typically gravitate to on my eyes. Both of these were decent. They're very cream based though. I'm not really a big fan of that because my eyelids are so freaking wide that I will get creasing big time if my eyeshadow is too oil based or something like that. So these are nice, but definitely not for me again. Now the next two, the holographic ones, I really liked that these had a heavier feel to how they're packaged. These, in terms of their quote unquote holographicness, I would not personally use these. I'm very cautious with the types of glitters if I use that on my eyelids. And these, I'm not too sure about. It looked to me like the holographic aspect was basically really fine particle glitter. So I'm not too sure on that. Again, I'm very picky in terms of safety for glitter on my eyes. And I don't know, I'm not sure on that. But the bronze is really pretty, so I'm not quite sure what I was expecting in terms of holographic. I should have known better. Now next, we're gonna go over some lip glosses. I had so many. A strawberry set, and I wanted you guys to hear what it sounded like. So that clicking right there was how metal it feels. So it has a really nice sturdy packaging to it. And these are all matte finishes. They have a really pleasant scent to them. It's like a fruity strawberry, not that overly sickeningly sweet artificial type strawberry, but like a really fresh one. So that was really pleasant. These all applied very nice, very pigmented, very creamy. And this one right here, this duo, it comes just like this. I'm thinking that this is a dupe for the Kylie lip kits from a couple years ago, but it comes with the lip liner and then the matte lipstick to go with it. So this is actually the lipstick set that I'm wearing in the intro of this week's videos, if you're curious. It's a really nice flattering color. I had no issues with it, and yeah, it blended in really well. It applied really nice. I know this isn't a beauty channel, but if you're curious what my favorite lippy brand is, it's Beauty Bakery. There is not a damn lipstick that I have tried that has beaten Beauty Bakery lippies for me, and I will stand by that. So anyways, these were nice. They stayed on really well for their matte finishes, and they also removed very well too, so no staining with those. Next, we've got another set of lippies. This is a strawberry set. So similar to that previous first, I think that was a trio or a quad. These are also scented with a very fresh, light, pleasant strawberry scent. So despite the packaging being quite different from the other set, I do think that these applied really similar in formula and consistency. They do dry down very matte, and I had no smearing with them. They're really neutral, and you can see from all of my selections so far, brown apparently is my jam. I really like neutral colors, and I thought these popped decently well. I don't know about that last one though. That's a little too cool toned for my liking. But these all, again, dried down matte, no issues there. This next set, more mattified goodies. These are more berry toned, and can we talk about that packaging? It is so cute, and it reminds me of, honestly, my toddler. That's what it looks like. So these also have a very metal feel on the packaging. They do feel just a touch heavier than, say, plastic, but I don't think that they're metal. So they're just really nice and heavy on the hand. So this first one is really very much a true reddish rouge sort of color. I think it's coming off more berry, at least from what I'm watching on the playback here. So please note that is a true red lippy. These also dried down very matte, and they stayed really nice, and no staining with these either. So I was really impressed with these. They also have that nice soft strawberry-ish sort of fresh scent to them. So I was really digging these. This last one is a true lip gloss. When I ordered it, I thought it was going to be more of a neutral bronze sort of lipstick. I wasn't honestly sure what the hell it was going to be. So when I opened the packaging and I saw that it was straight up glossy stuff, I was pleasantly surprised. So this is, in my opinion, very clear. I was even more intrigued that the applicator is not your typical felt doe foot. It's a straight plastic wand looking thing. So that was interesting. I don't think it detracts anything from application, but it was just a little weird. I've never seen anything like that. So correct me if there is something else out there that definitely has that weird plastic wand. So you can see just straight glossy feeling. This also has that nice fresh scent to it. And then here we've got blush. I am wearing this blush in the intro to this week's videos. It's very subtle. It's very soft. I was, again, very fascinated that it's got this interesting, huge felt sort of applicator, and it's got the majority of the product at the bottom of this tube. Really interesting. So I started off by just testing it out in my hand here. This is a really neutral blush color. And I specifically picked this one because I typically gravitate towards colors like this for my skin tone. Just using the little egg applicator here, it is blending really well into my skin. Again, this is very buildable. I thought I had really nice coverage with it. Friendly reminder though that I did not wet the sponge again. So I think it would have blended even better wet. And next I've got foundations and concealer. So I knew exactly what I was doing ordering my actual skin tone, what I thought was going to be my skin tone foundation, and what I thought was going to be my match for their concealer. Interesting results here. So I purposely ordered a medium. I was a little shocked that these were actually a true medium and what I would consider more of a transitional medium to deep tone. You kind of got to work the pump a little bit there, but that was very interesting. I was expecting these to be way too light, what have you, but yeah, these were pretty spot on. This first one is an, I dare say, almost match for me. Almost. It's just a little bit too on the yellow side for me. I use a neutral color. If you're curious what my holy grail foundation is right now, it's L'Oreal's True Match Nude in the color Rich Medium 4.5 to 5.5. Just sidebar there. But these have a really heavy feel. They're very oily. They feel oil-based, and that's not my jam. I have very combination skin, so I don't think I'll be using these because they just feel like I'm gonna break out with how heavy the formula is. But overall, I was decently impressed with how deep some of these tones went. I did the darker one right here, and it's a pretty decent, deeper medium tone. And then I mixed them to see what kind of color we can get if we mix them together. So almost a match, but honestly, I've never been a fan of ordering any foundation or concealer online. I need to go into my store and play around and figure out what's gonna match me in person, because I do not have the patience for taking stuff back and trying to figure it out that way. Next is the concealer, and I'm gonna be straight up, flat out honest, I hated this. The formula was trash. I did not like how it applied. I didn't like anything about it. There's something about the formula. It's watery. It just, I don't know how else to describe it. It's watery. And when you apply it, it's like, it's not that it's feathering or anything like that. It's just that it feels like I was putting watercolors on in a weird, over moist type of way. I didn't like it. And this was entirely too light for me. This next thing is an eyebrow painter, sponger sort of thing. I was really intrigued by this. My mom actually is always asking me for tips on her eyebrows, and I saw this and I was like, how goofy, let's try this out. I used to use something similar to this a long time ago in my early 20s. So I saw this and I was like, what a throwback. And I thought it was really cool, really interesting. If you're not good at shaping your own eyebrows, or you want to use a guide for waxing, which is usually what I do. I draw in my guide and then I go in and wax, self-wax, PS. I thought this was really cool. It applied really cool. And I think if you go in really light, this might definitely be something to work with if you need help in the shaping department. And then lastly, we have these little lippies. They reminded me of scented Vaseline things. They're small, they're really cute. They definitely feel like straight up Vaseline, like baby oil, when you mess around with the formula. They're each scented in a variety of different scents. They were very pleasant smelling. Nothing super chemically or artificial smelling, just very soft and pleasant. So to conclude the video, I have the non-polished stuff, the non-makeup stuff, all that good stuff. And I ordered a towel, a beach towel. This is it was giving me some Lisa Frank vibes, so I grabbed it. And it's definitely, let me show you guys, this is the towel. I know my frame is not that big, but it's beach towel size. Like, I would say a pretty standard beach towel size. Now, I want to note that it's like I call it the car drying material. It's kind of, I guess, microfiber, but like a little harsher. So I don't know, we'll see. I haven't taken out to use yet. Obviously, I didn't want to touch any of the stuff until I actively showed it to you guys, so that it was nice and new out of the bag. But the colors are really vibrant, so that was really cool. The other random thing that I got, and this was really random, like super random. I think this is probably one of the more random things I've gotten on the site, is, wait for it, bed sheets. I got a bed sheet set, and I saw it and I was like, really, a bed sheet set? So this is it fresh out of the bag. On the picture, I'll have one behind me. It was a rainbow stripe, and I personally like to harass my husband and put in all kinds of rainbow stuff in our home, and just to kind of see if he'll ever complain, and he doesn't, because he's a sweetheart and so supportive to all things. But I was intrigued, and you can kind of see the colors are decently vibrant. I don't think it's as vibrant as the listing, but it's pretty decent. I will say it's definitely not any of the thread count stuff that I've used. This is definitely feels like what you got what you paid for. It's not really soft, but it's not quite super tint like material. It's not, I can tell it's probably a polyester blend, but it's definitely not the softest. But I think maybe after a wash or so, and I'll definitely add some super softener stuff to it. But yeah, you can see that. You can see how it's again, not as vibrant as the listing, but still pretty vibrant. And yeah, it's pretty cute. So it is basically just the fitted sheet and the flat sheet. So that's pretty interesting right there. Oh, and then it came with, there they are. These fell out of the bag. It came with 2 pillowcases. So kind of a complete set, if you will. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and at least this little mini series. Again, go check out episode 1 if you want to see more nail stuff and all that. This is yeah, probably it. So I will have all the information in the description box below, including links and basically links made from the sponsor themselves. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.